Welcome to WSOT City Talk. I'm so glad that you are joining us today. I'm your host, Angela Stepp, and beside me is Mayor Jess Allenbaugh of Marion, Indiana. And everything that we talk about on the show today, Mayor, is pertaining to the city of Marion. And I want to make sure that we extend a big welcome to our viewers to call into the show. Now, this show is a tape show, so it airs several times throughout the month. It's a monthly show, and if you are watching the show and you would like to call in a comment or a question that we can address on the next month's show, you can do so by dialing 765-536-WSOT. That's 536-9768, or you can text that number as well. And Mayor, we have a show website, ctmarion.com. They can watch archived episodes, or they can watch us talk about what we're going to talk about here in a minute over and over and over again.
Probably get tired of seeing me, I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, you know, we haven't seen you for a while.
It has been a while.
It has been a little while. We had Julie Fowler and Doug Darga on last month, and we were talking about the big 4th of July, which actually happened on the 3rd of July celebration. And wow, was that an incredible production? Unbelievable.
I wasn't able to be there. Unfortunately, I got a little stomach virus growing on Monday of that week. Was back to somewhat of good health by Thursday, but what an event they had. Julie Fowler she kind of spearheaded this event and did a wonderful job. It was, we think, around 3,000 people attended that concert, which is outstanding.
Yes.
It was much more than just fireworks. There was entertainment for kids, adults. Everyone in the community in Grant County alike could have come and enjoyed that evening, and we just thought it went well. Special thanks to Julie Fowler, Doug Darga, and Julia Glesner, but also the entire park crew, because they worked very hard to make that park look beautiful and to put on the event. There was a lot of stuff behind the scenes happening even while the concert was going on. So I'm very appreciative of the people from the Marion Parks Department, especially Julie, Julia, and Doug, for what they did to make that event such a great success.
In the fireworks, I have to say, that was a beautiful display. I think it was probably one of the more lovely displays that I have seen in quite a while. So that, I was thinking, wow, to be able to move them back to the park like they had done years ago, I thought that was really special. And how awesome to be able to sit in such a lovely environment, the gardens of Motter Park and all throughout, which is so meticulously landscaped and cared for, and to be able to surround yourself in beauty and then see the fireworks and celebrate our independence.
And to do it as a community, because when we were having it down at First Friday, the First Friday people were able to kind of be a part of it outside of their cars, but most of the public were sitting in cars with just their immediate family and not others in the community. And by bringing it to the gardens, we were able to bring the entire community came out, again, around 3,000 people. And they had a lot of conversation and fun, played games together. It was really a great community event. And Julie Fowler came to me early this year and said, what do you think about moving the fireworks back to the gardens? And I said, you know, I thought of that the first year here. I think you're right. It's time to do that.
I remember you telling me a story. It's probably been about a good year or so ago, where you were downtown for the firework display and you saw a Darling family in their car parked along the side of the street with the little ones in the back, and they just had the windows rolled down and they were peeking over the edge to watch the fireworks. And I remember how that just struck your heart as maybe we should have more of a sense of community. This ought not be how we watch as a family fireworks.
No, and
parked on the side of a street peeking through the windows.
And I was so glad Julie came in to and that was her thought too, and Julie Fowler, and she said, what if we did? And I thought, you know what, Julie, you're right. Let's bring the community together. We're trying to build a strong community here, make it feel like everybody's hometown. And we're thankful for the way it turned out. Obviously, Julie and Doug and Julia, they find the little things that nobody else noticed that we can do better next year, but those three put on a heck of a show for us, and I'm very proud of them.
They really did. So big appreciation goes off to everyone involved for
everyone, all those park employees.
Well, you know, I have several questions that we need to get to from viewers, and there's some really important questions in here, not that any are any more important than the other. And I want to remind you that you can call in during the show or anytime throughout the month, 765-536-WSOT. Text us your questions as well, or go to ctmarion.com and submit online there. Okay, so Mayor, the very first question I have for you came from Brenda. Thank you for watching, Brenda. And she lives off of State Road 9 near 100 East. I've got an actual address, but Brenda, I'm not going to give your full address away. And she said that there is a bridge and a ditch, and it has overgrown weeds, and she is wondering, is this a city maintenance situation, or is it a county maintenance situation? Who should she contact to get those weeds taken care of?
Well, I'm glad for the call there, Brenda. That is a county issue, not the city of Marion. Once you get to that bridge there on the bypass on Highway 9, you run into county. All bridges are county, and then as you get across the railroad tracks, you're into the county. So get a hold of your county and let them know. They might be able to say that workmate, that crew from the from the jail, Grant County Jail, their workmate crew they send out. That's probably something they could come and clean up, but the county makes that determination. But thank you for that call. We want to beautify that part of our county too.
Mm-hmm. You know, I also want to jump into, we were talking about public recreation in the parks and whatnot, and I had a gentleman, his name is Charles. Charles, hello, thank you for watching. And he had a very heartfelt call about public recreation and his concern pertaining to what he was claiming or stating is a lack of basketball courts, basketball goals for children. In fact, I'm going to read just a little snippet of what he said. So Charles says, there's no free recreation for little children. It's all been taken away. Can you go to the boys? You can go to the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA. It costs money, and that's about it. What are you, your administration, going to do about it? I've been told that they, referring to public basketball courts, promote drugs. You have a drug problem now, not a basketball problem with little children. And he goes on, and he would very much like for you to address this concern on air.
Okay. Well, first of all, and you may or may not know, I played basketball at Marion High School, so basketball is a passion. I'm so passionate about basketball that I watch Summer League NBA basketball games, and people think I'm crazy for that. But you made a good point there, Charles. We have lost some of the basketball courts, and I'm not thrilled with that. We did fix up Charles Mill Park, put new backboards and rims up there, made it nice. We've really painted the whole park thanks to Indiana Wesleyan University's basketball team. They helped do that for no charge. And 28th Street Park's had a lot of work done on its courts. That's where I grew up playing ball as a youngster. And we're going to look into that. That's one of the things I'd like to do. I do know if we can put basketball courts within a certain distance of schools, those people trying to sell drugs around parks get curtailed a little bit, because if they're caught doing it at a school, near a school within a certain parameters, it's an automatic felony.
Yes.
So there are some intentional ways we probably go about doing that. But I agree, I'd love to see just a few more parks spread around throughout the Marion area, so everybody in certain areas of the community had an opportunity to walk or ride their bike over to a park and play like I did.
I'm curious now, I sensed, Charles, as I listened to your message, I could tell you were very passionate about this, and so I'm going to ask, hopefully for you, is there something that he can do to help kind of expedite this process? Is there a way that he can get involved to maybe help see the basketball goals come back quicker?
Well, you can always adopt a park and form a committee. Friends of the Gardens of Motter Park do a wonderful job of helping us maintain the gardens and the entire Motter Park and put on special shows. That's one way you could do that, Charles, is get a group of avid basketball fans who see the value of that for our children, and put together a group that starts a fund that would help to offset the cost of that. Again, the city, we're trending in the right direction. You're watching this on the 10th of July right now. We're taping this, I should say. And just spoke with Julie Flores, and we are getting very optimistic. If we're frugal for a year or two, we'll start to have a much better financial picture going forward. And I will be able to do some of those things that I really would like to do, some of the dreams I have that take funding. Again, Charles, call City Hall, have Nikki get a hold of me, we'll talk. I'd love to hear more about what you thought we could do. Adopt a park in your neighborhood. Let's start there. Or if you don't have a park in your neighborhood, let's pick one out and let's try to come together and figure out a way to put basketball back in that park.
Very good. Well, Charles, I hope we were able to answer your question adequately, and please do make sure to contact his office, because I know that he really does respond quickly. Now, Mayor, we have just a couple minutes before break, and I just want to jump in real quick. You had just commented on the city finance situation. Would you like to elaborate just a little bit more about that good news?
I'll just say we know that 2019, next year, is when our insurance fund is going to maximize. It's going to be a very difficult year for us to get through, but because of the frugal way we've handled the money these first few years in office, we are trending out of that. If we survive 2019, and we will, by 2020-21, with the plan we have in place, we'll start to build a little bit of revenue. We aren't going to have a lot of extra, but we can start to take care of the daily business and not worry about whether we're paying our debtors on time or not. We're doing that now, but it's been a real battle to stay on top of our bills. We don't want to be paying our bills late if we can avoid it, and we're getting to that point where we're really trending in the right direction. As I told Julie, I feel like Julie Floyd is a controller. I feel like our nose is slowly rising above the water level, and we're starting to breathe again. And we're going to continue to work on that and get a healthy financial picture for the future of Marion.
That is wonderful news. Thank you.
She does a wonderful job. Julie Flores and Linda Fall. Julie Flores and Linda Fall in the controller's office do a wonderful job of being Ebenezer Scrooge, if you will, towards everybody else in the City Hall, including me. They stay on us about the future of Marion and make us present a good cause when we want to spend money. And I think that's needed at this time.
That dedication is greatly appreciated by all.
It is.
So
they are passionate about bringing Marion back to good health financially.
Well, that's wonderful news. Thank you for sharing that. And you know what, folks, we need to pause for a really quick commercial break. We'll be right back with some more WSOT TV City Talk in just a moment. Welcome back to WSOT TV City Talk. So glad that you are joining us today. Now we are talking about anything and everything pertaining to the city of Marion, and we are taking your calls and your questions and comments, and you can submit those calls, questions, and comments to us by calling the message line. It's a local number, 765-536-WSOT. That's 536-9768. Or go to the show website, ctmarion.com, and submit online and watch archived episodes. Now, I have Mayor Alan Ball with me of Marion, Indiana, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us and to answer some very important questions. And I'm going to jump right into the next one. This comes from a gal named Diana. Diana, thank you so much for watching. And she has called regarding some handicapped accessibility issues around Keel Avenue and the Brinker Heights area. I'm going to read a little portion of her inquiry, okay? I'm in a power chair and I have to go to the store through Brinker Heights and Keel Avenue. It's a mess. There's no handicapped access to sidewalks. Sidewalks are messy and I really can't ride on them anyway, but I would appreciate handicapped access on Swayze and Marshall if it's at all possible. And Diane, I want to make sure that you know we do have your name and your contact information, and we have forwarded that on to the mayor as well.
Yes, and I actually was made aware of this yesterday. First, this, of course, July 10th, Tuesday. July 9th was my first day in office since the previous week. I missed part of that with illness, but then was gone for the holiday weekend through the weekend. And this is one of those things that was brought to my attention as soon as I returned to the office Monday, that this came across the wire and I needed to address it. What we'll do is go out and take a look at that. These are issues that I'm sure a number of people with disabilities face all around the city, because I know from walking during my campaign that our sidewalks are in bad shape. Fortunately, we have about 50,000 max in a year that are budgeted towards sidewalks that we can repair. So very limited funds that we get from the state to do that. But we can certainly take a look at that area, and I understand I have a brother that's disabled that uses a wheelchair to get around, and we'll look into that. Give me a little bit of time. We'll hope to get out there to see it this week, and then I'll get with City Engineer Mike Graft and we'll talk about how we can take care of that issue for you.
I know that that was something that Mike had mentioned, I think when he was on the show a few months back, about trying to look at maybe redoing some curbs and making things more accessible for folks. And so I know that is something that's in the mix.
It is, and it's just the funding's always a challenge. And they give us more money for streets. By the way, all the money we get for streets is being put into streets. We're not shuffling it over to any place else. We're putting that money into our streets. It may not seem like we're doing a lot of streets, but we really are doing quite a bit of streets, and we'll continue to make that a priority. We'll keep those funds in the street department.
Can you share with us just a little bit about some of the priorities that you're maybe putting as far as street repair? Are there certain areas of the city that you know that are on the to-do list?
There are. We're really focused on the major thoroughfares. And we just did South Washington Street. We did Kim Road, which is in deplorable shape. South Washington, out near the university's campus, that southbound lane was in awful condition. Kim Road in front of St. Paul was one we paved. Again, Southwestern we didn't get to last year. We ran out of days because the hotel was working there. We didn't want them tearing up our new Southwestern Avenue, the Holiday Inn Express, which is now open. That we paved early this year.
Right?
That is. That Southwestern from 14th Street all the way to 5 Points is beautiful now. Now we'll get the striping done at some point. We'll get striping done, but we're really focusing on trying to get as many of our major roads healthy for our citizens as we can.
Well, speaking of repair, I have another item that I'd like to talk to you about, and it's regarding some railroad tracks. Now, the gentleman that has called in the past, Don, thank you for calling in, and I just want to let you know first off, Don, that we have been receiving your calls, and I know that you've called multiple times, and that's a wonderful thing. And we've had other folks that have called in as well regarding the same set of railroad tracks. Now, Mayor, I know we've even addressed it on the show in times past, and for those who are watching, let me just quickly kind of give an overview of what the inquiry is about. He's been calling about railroad tracks on 38th Street, located between the VA hospital and the bridge. He says that they are in extreme disrepair, and you know, he's been very persistent about calling in, and I know that it is something that we've addressed before, and I'm wondering, can you give an update to anything progress-wise that may be made towards repairing this? Because I know that it is something that the railroad company has to take care of.
Yeah, that's a good point, Angela. That's the railroad's responsibility. It's not the county or the city. I believe those railroad tracks are probably in the county. Just as a matter of fact, they're far enough east on 38th. They're probably really county property. But then, no matter what city or county, the railroad would have to take care of that. We can share that with them. Your concerns we have. That's one of the roughest tracks in town. You're correct. We will look into that again and at least put that in their head and their thoughts that, hey, this needs addressed.
Gets the grease, right?
Have you been over that track?
I have,
it is one of the roughest ones in town.
I try to avoid it, to be honest, because I do know that it is rough.
Well, and then you get on Central Avenue, and that's not a smooth ride either. That's one that we will probably get to either this year. If not this year, we'll get to next year. That's another road that needs paved desperately. Lots of Gas City people, Jonesboro people, especially Gas City, come that way to go to work in Marion.
Yeah, 38th is heavily traveled.
Yeah, 38th and then Central Avenue off of it that goes through the cemetery. That's a road that's heavily traveled. But railroads work at their own call. You know, those are big companies, and little Mayberries like Marion, you know, we're kind of the Mayberry to them. We don't threaten them much when we call complaining. They get to it in their own time.
So I hope, Don, that was a little bit more, I don't know, information for you, if you will. I think that it's always helpful when the city or municipality is calling into the railroad company to say, hey, please come fix this track. Sometimes you get a little bit more reaction out of them than when an individual like yourself or myself might call in. So we'll see if maybe we can't get some progress there. Now, Mayor, I have another gal who called in. Her name is Pat. And Pat, you are a big fan of the show, you said, and I want to thank you for taking the time to call in and let us know that you are a fan of the show. And Mayor, I want to share just a little bit about what she said. Besides expressing her appreciation, she says that she really enjoys hearing from you about all of the good things that are happening and what you are trying to do that's good for our city. And she also wanted to let you and me know that she is praying for us. which that just
Keep
makes
praying,
my heart.
Pat. Please keep praying. Don't stop now.
So Pat, thank you so much for such a wonderful call of encouragement.
Yes, thank you, Pat.
It really, truly means the world to know that I have a prayer warrior like you out there praying for us. And Mayor, I would love to take a moment here. She loves to hear about the good things that are happening in Marion, and we've still got a couple of minutes left in the show. Would you like to share, since you've not been with us for a little while, some of the things that are happening?
Sure. Well, if you've been south on the bypass here in Marion, out by Meyer, TJ Maxx, Kohl's, that area, that is the Texas Roadhouse finally coming to life. There's bricks on the bottom of the Texas Roadhouse is coming to life slowly but surely right here in Marion, Indiana. So we are looking forward to them opening. We're hoping they open before 1st of next year, but it's their timetable when they can get the building constructed, finished, and then train their staff, first their managers, then their staff. They'll open as soon as they can, but it is starting to come to life. You can tell what it's supposed to be now. People going by are saying that really is the Roadhouse.
It is the Roadhouse. You know, now, okay, so folks, we've gotten many phone calls from you out there wondering and doubting if, in fact, it was ever going to happen. So I feel like we should hear the chorus of angels happening right now, because it's here, it's on its way. That's wonderful news. Oh, that's wonderful. Tell us a little bit more about what you got going on.
Well, the downtown is coming to life. You've been watching that.
Yes.
The old Wolf building, which is really the old Bob's building we found out, is going to be renovated. There's 3 young businessmen that collaborated to form their own realty company, local people, and are investing in that. They hope to have apartment living upstairs there. That's the old Wolf building on the north side of the square. And then they hope to fill it with businesses, a couple of businesses down below on the 1st floor. Michael Halstead Architects bought the Beatniks building there next to the courtyard in Marion on the north side of the square. He's really moving along on his renovation, and he is already occupying the upstairs with his office people. They are already working out of that office now. They're hoping to white box the downstairs, which is just what it means, white box, so any business that's interested would have a clear, square, easy frame to work with. It would make it very easy for them to personalize it. And we hope to fill that up with the right kind of business. We'll see what that is. And then something most people weren't aware of is 38th Street as you head out towards the VA from Adams Street. Next to Weekly Auto Sales, there's a new construction going on. That's a Dollar General store.
Ooh.
They're having another retail outlet there, but that is not city property. That's one of those strange cutouts when you get near 38th and Lincoln Boulevard. And there's some little pockets. County, city is very hard to distinguish sometimes, but that's actually a county property that's going on next to Weekly Auto Service. And then Bell Tire.
Very welcome for residents around there.
In that area. And they're intentionally looking for food deserts and finding places closer. Yeah, they're being more strategic.
We had talked about that in the past, and I was aware of the fact that we are trying to, when you use the term food desert, you mean, if I can just kind of translate that roughly, places that folks who may not have the ability to get out and drive long distances to get to a grocery store, now they will have a place that they can go and pick up groceries more easily. Yeah,
and other basic needs that they may have. So that's going up, and then Bell Tire is that other project going up next to Hardee's on the south end of the bypass. And the Holiday Inn Express did open already.
Yes.
On the north side of the bypass, right by or Taco Bell, I should say. And also, the new Arby's is under construction.
It is.
It's much smaller, folks. The reason for that is they did a study, and a little over 65% of the business at Arby's North was drive-through business. And I know from eating there myself on a fairly regular basis, most of the time there's not very many people in there eating along with me and whoever I'm with. But so they're going to simplify it smaller, be more responsible with their dollars, but they'll have a beautiful new building there soon. And we're still waiting to see what goes out in front of the Holiday Inn Express, because typically restaurants follow the Holiday Inn Express. There's all kind of rumors out there. I don't have any breaking news to share with you at this time. And if they did tell me, I'd probably wait till they were ready to tell you the good news. But we are excitedly waiting to see what happens there.
Well, you know, we're out of time, and I want to just throw one other quick event out there. Now, Mayor, I'm going to read this so that I can make it fast. You know, just recently, At the Marion Municipal Airport, they hosted members of the United States Advanced and Unlimited Aerobatic teams. They participated in a training camp prior to representing the U.S. in the World Aerobatic Championships. And current members of the Unlimited team are planning to return to Marion in September of this year to prepare for the United States National Aerobatic Championships, which will be held in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. That's a really big deal, and there's more information on the city website if folks want to know, because Layla Price put out a really nice press release on this.
Those people are daredevils.
They are. It's amazing. And you know, I should also point out at the Marion Airport coming up, it's over Labor Day weekend. It's the big fly-in, cruise-in that Ray Johnson helps to coordinate and oversee that effort.
Great cause.
Pancake breakfast, and this year Gilead Ministries is going to be benefiting from that again, and it's a wonderful outreach to folks who are dealing with long-term illness, and Bill Sparks is the director of that outreach effort.
And are actually working with the rescue mission.
Yes.
To transition this for them in the future. So Rick Barberia, the director of the rescue mission, will be right in the throes of all this action, and he'll be a part of this for maybe the first. He may have come to it last year, but this time he'll be paying special attention because in another year, I believe he takes over the role as the nonprofit
for the pancake breakfast. But the rest, I believe, is organized by Ray and whatnot. So wonderful. So we are out of time, so I'm going to have to cut this short real quick. Thanks for being on the show again.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much for watching. Keep those calls coming in, 765-536-WSOT. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on WSOT TV.